So Jagraj Singh approached me about working on a project which initially was more about just providing PR for the Sikh community in Britain, and how we were able to explore our own conversations, create our own dialogue and talk about things that were really important to the Sikh community. So initially the discussion started off as doing PR for the community, and then it just grew into what it is today, really. So I said to him, this could be set up as a press association, the same way that other organisations use PR as a tool, but within an organisation. So like PA News, for example, so that we could bring in stories, put them into a format that the media like to read and see them, create campaigns and then disseminate them out. I got involved with Sikh PA. A lot of it had to do with just how infectious his hunger and desire to create something new was. At the time, I just had my second son. I was about to have my second son, and there was a lot going on, and I did decline the offer a few times. But I think it's just the real desire to do something for the community, and the way he spoke about the bigger picture and the purpose of what it could really mean was one of the key reasons why I got involved, and I'm really glad that I did. Setting up the Sikh Press Association with Jagraj was like being hurled through a field at 1,000,000 miles an hour, because he had so much in his head, so much that he wanted to achieve. He knew exactly where he wanted to be, and just needed to get there from A to B in a straight line as fast as possible. And it was exciting. It was a huge learning curve for me, although I'm from a Sikh family background. It was never really the forefront of my lifestyle, I guess, and every challenge was just an opportunity rather than a block. So I learned a lot setting out with him. One of the key things that I found really challenging in setting up was entering into a world that I didn't really know too much about. So the faith communities, how they operate, the Sikh community, how they operate, the hierarchical structure of the councils, the gurdwaras, organisations, how they feed into each other, and how information is proliferated through the community, and how they work with the mainstream media. So I found that there isn't always a set plan and a set way to do things, which was quite new, and that it was, again, rather than being a blog, it was an opportunity to create a structure into what we're doing, which works and tries to work effectively with all the different groups that we have out there. Any outstanding memories? I think the biggest thing is just having so many people just not believe that the press association was required for the community, and having been told that to your face a lot. And I also remember that people just didn't think it would work, and that's a big challenge, and that was a very distinct memory. I remember the first time we set up Langar Week. Nothing like that had been put into place at such scale. And I think it was the first time that we were able to show that by having a structure, and also a mainstream structure in our storytelling, and we were able to control the narrative and talk about Langar in such an expansive way, And I remember very clearly Jagraj saying, well, let's do the campaign first, let's create the campaign, let's get that going first, and then that can just basically prove to people that it's needed and it works. So that was a great that was a memory that will stay with me. I think the Press Association has developed a lot further than we thought it would have initially. So the initial real goals were to, one, be a springboard between the mainstream media and the Sikh community, and be able to give concise information, articulate speakers, have statistics, have high resolution images, so very practical in its stance. And I think how it's grown is it's evolved with a community that are quite keen to have something like the Sikh Press Association around. So a lot of it becomes very personal in your work as well. So community-led stories that are very heartfelt, trying to keep a balance between different points of view has been a challenge. So I think it's great. The Press Association has developed a lot, really, and I think a lot more than we really envisaged it would have. So from being a springboard for the mainstream media and the Sikh community to create dialogue and kind of explore and raise the profile of the Sikh community, to now being a body that a lot of people look to for advice. A lot of the work does become personal for the press officers that run it, because they are both obviously from a Sikh background, and it's learning to balance what is correct for the community, what the media, how the media represent us, without being biased to any one side. And I think one of the key things that has developed really well is to be, becoming fearless in defending what the truth is, really. So within media, not being scared about defending what we believe the truth to be. Should there be any miscommunication or misprinting or misreporting within the media, then we should feel that we have enough tools and enough information to actually and actively challenge that. How I see the next 5 years panning out for the association, I think that in terms of growth, I see the association having hubs in different cities. I think that our workshops and active engagement within the community to share the tools that we know and we have is going to grow. I really think that by giving people the ownership and knowledge to grow themselves is something that we will do in the next 5 years as well.